All right. Anyways, guys, enough talking here, enough chatting. It is time. The way it was meant to be done, we're going to go on a little tour, baby. It's tour time with Tom. I like to have a lot of fun. It's cool. I also am going to put on performance and dabbing rat. Cool. All right. Here we go. Today, guys, I'm going to give you guys a little tour of a place. It's a gorgeous place where the streets are paved with Adderall. And the neighborhood motto is, do you know who my father is? The financial district, baby. Come on. It's time, baby. I'm going to show you guys the financial district. This is it. This is a very important neighborhood. History. That's what we're going to cover today. There's tons and tons of history here. Let's start at the beginning. All right. This is where it all started. New Amsterdam. Look at that. Look at this little island, tip here. That's where it all was. This is where it all began. And in fact, if you go to Battery Park there, you'll find this little flagpole. Look at that. That's Peter Minuit. He was the Director General, and that's him buying Manhattan from the Lenape Native Americans who were here before. But you're thinking, wait a Minuit. Didn't he scam those Native Americans completely? You are correct. Because they say the number they gave was $24. That's not true. It's actually closer to a few $100s. But even then, they didn't really understand what was going on because they didn't have an idea of owning land. That would be like if I came up to you and said, hey, I'll buy that air under your nose right now for $500. You'd be like, yeah, give me $500, you idiot. That's pretty much what happened. They're like, here you go. And then they found out the hard way that they had gotten scammed, unfortunately. It's unfortunate they didn't have the technology we have today to be able to detect these things. But it's all right, And hindsight's 20/20. All right, moving on, baby, moving on. So, if you start going on Broadway, you'll see this building here. This here is the Alexander Hamilton Customs House. It's actually in the place of what used to be Fort Amsterdam. Oh, look at that little fort. That's what was there before. That's where the Director General, the famous Director General Peter Stuyvesant. Look at this guy. The peg-leg general, Peter Stuyvesant, that's a real guy. This person existed. This isn't a Disney character. This man existed. He stomped around the colony, and he kept everyone in shape, and he's actually the reason the British were like, you know what, this place isn't so bad. Let's take it over. But it's a pretty impressive figure. You'll see his name all over the city. And it's a shame he's not alive today, because that guy definitely would have had his own celebrity liquor. Holy crap, are you kidding me? That's an easy one. That's a layup. All right. By the way, that building, Ghostbusters 2. You guys remember Ghostbusters 2? You guys remember Ghostbusters 2? The Statue of Liberty comes to life, walks down the street in New York City. It gathers up all the goodwill. Everyone in New York City unites in peace and harmony to inspire the Statue of Liberty to break through the glass of that building. How crazy is that? And the most unbelievable part of that entire story is that all of New York was united in peace and harmony. Huh? Pretty nuts. All right, moving on. Here we go, Battery Park. Real quick, before we move on from Battery Park is called that because of the battery. The battery. I guess that was pretty obvious, but the battery, more specifically, was where the actual artillery was to defend the place. In fact, you could find this little cannon there. They actually dug that cannon up while they were excavating for a building on Broadway. This building is from like the 1800s. Kind of nuts. Anywho, we're going to keep moving. Let's keep it moving. Oh, by the way, you're probably thinking, but Tom, if they were just using Battery Park to defend the actual island, couldn't people just go around Long Island Sound or come up another side of the island and the miles of coastline? Well, I'll answer your question with another question. What are you, General Patton or something, you freak? Relax, all right? This is just a tour. All right, let's keep it moving. All right. Now, this neighborhood is a little fancy now, so you have this fancy little park here. It's Bowling Green, huh? Bowling Green, very pretty little park, famous for, famous thing happened in the 1700s, 1776 specifically, right? There was a Declaration of Independence was written in July 4th, 1776, but it didn't reach the New York City until July 9th, because this is before Twitter, so, right? It's before Twitter, so, Benjamin Franklin, he didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance to tweet about it. How are we going to find out about it? So guess what happened? You had it read out loud. On July 9th, they read it out loud at what is today's City Hall Park, and everyone got so amped up, they went down to Bowling Green, and they tore down the statue of King George that was in the middle of Bowling Green, and then, f King George. That guy sucks. But they sent the statue out of New York to get melted down to use for bullets in the American Revolution. That's pretty damn sick, man. Come on. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so we're moving up Broadway. There's a charging bull. How cool is that? All right, the charging bull of Wall Street, by the way, was given as a gift. The artist Arturo DeModica left it in front of the stock exchange in December 1989 as a gift with no explanation. And they took it to throw it away, basically. They sent it out to get burnt and melted down, everything, because you know finance bros, they don't know anything about art. They should have just told them it was a Banksy. They probably would have put it up in their loft or something. But they sent it out, but the city was like, yo, that's so cool. The people in the city were like, do something, we want to see it. So the city said, all right, fine. So they put it here, and it's been there ever since. It's still on loan from the state of the artist. How cool is that? Now, just so you guys know, it is a tradition to take pictures with the bull's balls. That is a thing. They say it is good financial luck to take pictures with the bull's balls because there are things that are timeless in this world. One is the strength of an animal like a bull, and also that balls are funny. Those are the two things that will outlast all of us, unfortunately. Also, by the way, this is what I got when I Googled this. No one is too good for that picture, apparently. Also, if you remember anything from tonight, don't ever Google tourist with hand on bull's balls. Do yourself a favor. All right, let's keep it moving. Number 1 Broadway, baby. Number 1 Broadway, right next to it. Just a quick thing. This was actually home to the White Star Line offices for a bit. And if you look over the doors, you'll see cabin class, you'll see first class. Is that where you would have gone to buy your tickets? Huh? For ships like the Titanic, which was a White Star ship, huh? So this is where, good old, Jack Dawson, huh? You Leo fans? This is where he would have gone to buy his ticket, to then just go on a cruise and be murdered by a one-night stand who didn't let him on a frickin' door. Come on, take your frickin' your jacket off, your life jacket. Let him on the door. All right, anyways, moving on. 26 Broadway. This is another building right there. This is where Standard Oil Company was located. These two guys, huh? Look, that's John D. Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller Jr. Look at those guys. That's where their offices were. You guys may know their names from Rockefeller Center, the MoMA, the Cloisters, done a lot of stuff. In fact, Rockefeller is the richest American of all time. $400 billion. Take that, Jeff Bezos, you little bitch. Come on. $400 billion, that's insane. But before you go thinking they were saints, they did a lot of bad stuff too. Corruption, they were monopolists, and they actually were responsible for the Ludlow Massacre of 1914, where they actually murdered striking coal miners and their families, including 11 children. Yikes. But look at that tree. All right. Let's keep it moving. Here we go. Another thing that happens around this part of Broadway is the actual ticker tape parades. It started when they actually dedicated the Statue of Liberty in 1886, and then people were going up to City Hall so amped up that they started throwing what was most common in the financial district, which is stock ticker tape. Oh, that's a stock ticker. That's what would read the stock prices. They had a ton of tape, so they started throwing it out the windows. Pretty cool. The most abundant thing in the neighborhood, huh? It's a good thing they weren't heading up to City Hall going through the raw sewage district. Okay. Moving on. Here we go. Canyons. So we're talking about this is called the Canyon of Heroes because of that. It's called the Canyon of Heroes. You'll see all these little plaques. These have all the names of the people who've had these parades run for them. Pretty cool, huh? Not to be confused with the Canyon of Heroes in Astoria, Queens. All the different restaurants there. Look, if this doesn't exist, it should. Let's be honest. Put that up, a Canyon Heroes. That's good. That's solid, city sign worthy wordplay. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so we got the stock exchange. This is why the neighborhood gets its financial district reputation. You got the New York Stock Exchange, pretty cool. One of the things you'll see here, now the stock exchange had its roots in this. A bunch of dudes trading under a buttonwood tree. They trade stocks and they traded securities to pay back the debts incurred during the American Revolution. To actually commemorate this, they keep a little buttonwood tree in front of the stock exchange, huh? That's cool. So if you ever see this tree, that is why it's there. Pretty cool. So all of you guys who lost your shirt in the .com bust, you know where to walk your dog. It's pretty cool right there. Just have that dog just lay up right there. That's exactly where you get your payback. Moving on. All right, so here we go. Wall Street is called Wall Street because of this wall right here. Look at that. There was a wall on Wall Street. Huh? Isn't that nuts? This is what it looked like. Little wall there. Or at least that's what they say it looked like. But it was a wall from 1653 to 1699. That was the outside of the whole city. Pretty crazy, huh? Wall Street. Wall. Here's a picture of a head exploding. Holy crap, you guys are all on the floor right now. Yeah, you're never forget that. So let's keep it moving. All right, here we go. Federal Hall. This is right next to it. Federal Hall of Presidents is where George Washington was sworn in as first president. That's why that statue's there. They say it was at an exact spot. Pretty cool. This is actually the Bible that he swore on. Ooh, cool. You can actually open it. It was his Bible. You can open it. Inside he wrote, OMG, I'm totes nervous. All right, moving along. Here we go. Right across the street, you have this building. It is J.P. Morgan's former headquarters. J.P. Morgan was this guy. Holy crud, isn't that nuts? Now, just so you guys know, J.P. Morgan also was the victim of a bomb here. Well, he didn't die, but they tried to bomb his building. In 1920, they bombed his building. A bunch of, they think it was anarchists. They never caught them. They bombed it, and it never caught the people, but they still have these pockmarks here. They left them there. So if you see these pockmarks, it's from that bombing in 1920. The reason they're there is because J.P. Morgan said it's going to take more than a bomb to stop me from doing business, so I want to show everybody that case, right? Pretty cool. He actually left those things there on purpose. He also had everything cleaned up immediately after it happened, so that the next day they went into business as usual. Like 30 people died, and he still just cleaned up immediately, and he said, do something now. But you know what the cops said the next day? They're like, you just scooped up any possible evidence we would have had. He's like, oh, shit. But so, whatever. He proved his point, but he also shot himself in the foot. Anyways, we're going to keep it moving. All right, here we go. A church. Holy crap, a church. Tom, you ever heard of churches, France? I'm sure you got a ton of them over there. She's like, oh, God, I can't escape churches. All right, but this one is special because this one was in the movie National Treasure. Whoa. National Treasure, a historic movie here in the United States. It is the only movie in United States history that I have gone to see in theaters that I fell asleep in. Okay? So take that home with you. All right, here we go. Right next to it, you have the grave. This is a very famous grave, right? In Trinity Churchyard, it is the grave of Alexander Hamilton. Woo! This is an actual photo. Just so you guys know, Alexander Hamilton, famous for being in that show Hamilton. Huh? That's right. Alexander Hamilton acted in that. Pretty cool. Now, anyways, I haven't been able to go. By the way, the tickets got as high as almost $30,000 while Lin-Manuel Miranda was still acting in it. If any of you guys went to see it while Lin-Manuel... Anyone went to see it? Yeah, you guys went to see it? This is a good time to plug my Patreon. Guys, if you guys are around, check out my Patreon, Tom D NYC on Patreon. All kinds of levels. All right, cool. Here we go. Oh, it's so crap. I gotta go. No, here. So I got to talk about this first. Really important. Wall and Water Street was where there was a municipal slave market. In 1711, there was a slave market put there, and one of the reasons they put it there was because too many freedmen were wandering around. When their jobs were done, they would just be freed, and there needed to be a way to corral them. So in 1711, they actually started a slave market here, and there's this plaque that took until 2014 to put it up, but they put it up there, and it's a very important thing to know, so I can't skip over it. And I know that's a bummer, so here's the picture of the dog. Okay, I kind of jumped ahead. I'm sorry, but pretty funny. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, the Fed, baby, the Fed. We're moving up Broadway, going to the Fed over there on Liberty Street. Now, the Fed, by the way, is this building. Pretty cool, huh? The Fed, underneath is stored under over $300 billion worth of gold bullion. Ooh, pretty cool. That's why it was the site of, in the movie Die Hard with a Vengeance. This is where Jeremy Irons, look how jacked he was for like a 58-year-old guy or whatever he was. Now, he robbed this building in Die Hard with a Vengeance. You guys know that movie, huh? This Die Hard movie? Pretty good? All right, that's my, that's me plugging a Century 20 Fox movie, but whatever. It's a good movie. I liked it. It's one of my favorite New York movies, but that's where they robbed. And then you have Occupy Wall Street here. This is where Zuccotti Park is right there as well, and this is where Occupy Wall Street happened over in 2011. I don't know if you guys were around for that, but it is when all these people just basically lived there for about 2 months, and they started talking about the 99%. It's funny because a few points about this. One, they changed the language. People say it was a failure, but they actually changed the language of discussion. They introduced the terms 1%, the 99%. These are things that now become kind of part of common language. It's pretty impressive. People also got on them for not having a list of demands, but there should never be any kind of condition to you being angry and expressing your anger at people who are supposed to be representing you. So remember all these things. And I know that's a lot to hit you with, so here's another picture of a dog. Okay. Now, here we go, guys, real quick. That was the financial district. How cool is that, man? We did it. We covered the financial district. That was quick. We're going to keep this show going, though.